The cartoon that launched a generation of furries and proof that you can get literally anything onto television on this episode of WatchBots.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to WatchBots, the podcast about reliving your childhood, one excruciating second in arcane pop reference at a time. It's me, your internet pal, your boy. It's Ben. I'm joined by Shaylin.
Hello.
Hi. And Dave. Is that
Meow.
Is that a Thundercat purr or just an erotic hello?
What are you feeling?
I feel like we're going to go in both directions.
It's an erotic purr.
I love it.
I'm uncomfortable.
It's an erotic purr for you, Ben, and it's a Thundercat hello for you, Shaylin.
Excellent. Thank you
Yes.
for clarifying.
Hi.
Meow.
Meow. So I have to start us off by dispelling a myth. And I don't like doing this, but we have been accused of trying to be too woke. And Shaylin, I would say that it is assumed that you are the wokest of all of us.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to shoot that down right now.
Okay.
So over the weekend, Shaylin and I went to the epitome of arts, and that being a live podcast recording.
You can't tell this story.
Why?
Oh my God.
And so we went to see the Doughboys live, and Doughboys being my favorite podcast, two comedians out in LA talking nominally about fast food, but really about life, because that's what it's all about. And Shaylin and I went out. We had a nice beer beforehand, having a good time.
I cannot believe you're telling this story.
And
I
then,
can't wait.
And then I turned to my left where Shaylin was seated. We were in the second row in the upper balcony. And Shaylin was taking a picture of the crowd. And as it turns out, she was taking a picture of somebody who was missing half their arm.
Oh.
So let me clarify what happened here.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna
Ben, do you have... Wait. Ben, do you have more to say?
Mea culpa of the week. I'll let you feebly defend yourself here.
Okay.
So I'm looking around at the crowd because that's what I do at events like this. And I see a dude who looks very similar to my friend's ex-boyfriend, except like bigger.
Missing half an arm.
And I was like, no, this is a gentleman. And he's with a girl who has a couple of distinguishing characteristics, such as hair color, that match my friend.
1.5 arms.
And I
Missing a forearm.
I took this picture of like a dude and a girl who looked like alternate version of this couple of two people that I'm friends with. And I sent the picture.
Luke Skywalker.
I sent the picture to the girl. And I was like, look, it's alternate version you and your ex-boyfriend. Isn't this weird? And she responded with, haha, weird. Fast forward something like 10 hours. And she responds again and says, oh no, that girl has half an arm. And I was like, what?
No. See,
and so I opened the picture and I look at it and I was like, no, her coat's over her arm. And then I zoomed in and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that
she's
that was
a regular
the case.
Jim Abbott. Now
I feel so guilty and I had no idea.
No. See, you are accusing me of overplaying this. I am accusing you of underplaying this because you saw these people in the audience and you had to contrive a way to get a picture. So you turned and started waving your phone around to the people behind us like a fucking lunatic. And then you stopped, like just being so sly, and you took this picture and you said, ugh.
I did not. I literally had
my God,
no
look at that
idea.
half arm. Ew.
Hashtag not woke.
That's not. I'm so frustrated. at how you're playing this because I had no idea. I woke up the next day to the text message that said, "Oh dear, I don't care if she has 2 arms or 1 arm. Like, that's not like an interesting anomaly.
Or 1.5.
Live your life.
Grow a horn on your forehead if you want people to pay attention to an anomaly."
Listeners, it's true. It's true. I'm exaggerating this a little. Shaylin woke up and saw the text, and whether she knew about the half arm or not is inconsequential because she just rolled over and started sobbing into her pillow.
Now, you're exaggerating a little because it was not a half arm, but like a 3/4 arm.
It doesn't matter how much arm she had. It was that she looked just like my friend because of certain characteristics, not
Missing an
related to
arm.
her arms. And the dude looks just like the other dude. So much like I did a poll.
Picturing you, texting your friend, like, hey, she looks like you, all elbow.
I showed the picture to my 3 nieces. And then I showed a picture of the dude who I said he resembled to my 3 nieces, and they agreed that I was right. And then they also pointed out that the guy in the picture 100% knew I was taking that picture. And so I just feel terrible. I would have felt terrible. I do. I'm sorry. If you're out there, strangers, it was because of your hair color and glasses. I'm sorry.
Shaylin loves all of you.
Ben, at the beginning of this, you said you'd allow Shaylin to do a feeble defense, and feeble's a key word there.
Now, in Shaylin's defense,
Pretty bad.
she did want to promote our podcast and suggested that we bring some stickers. Now, I declined that because promotion to me is like the scariest thing in the world. And I think we were both proven correct because the crowd at the podcast recording looked very receptive to our brand of, I don't want to say humor, rambling nonsense, but there was also a guy there in a cool hat. And
Was it you?
no, I had on a regular ball cap, just a regular snapback, but this dude had like a full-on fedora.
It was not a fedora.
I was drunkenly talking about going to be his friend, but I couldn't muster it up.
I tried to convince him that it was a really great idea to walk over and be like, "I love your hat. Where'd you get it? I want one."
I have
But
a
he wouldn't do
podcast.
it.
I find it weird. Like, I've always wanted to, like, try out hats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want a fedora. I'm going to start wearing a fedora or something. It wouldn't look good, by the way, but, I want to try it. But you can't just, I'm in my mid-30s. I've got a lot of people, a lot of relationships that are established over years. If I just start wearing a hat, people are going to ask if, like, something's wrong with me. Like, they're going to be like, "Oh, what's the matter, Dave? Are you all right? Like, why are you all of a sudden wearing a hat?" I can't do it. I don't know how you make that jump to changing your
I don't
your
know.
style
I
all
think
of a sudden.
you just have to own it. I mean, you're not over the hill, as it were.
Yeah.
I tried to wear a hat for a while. Ben called it my sassy hat. And then one day when I was at work, he burned it or threw it away. All I know is I had it and then I came home
But
and it was gone forever.
the other part of that story you're neglecting to mention is that there was a random person there and she put her arm into the fire and she lost
Get
half
out.
of it.
Divorce. Reason. Jerk.
When my dad was turning 40,
He lost his arm.
He did. It ties back very sadly. My mom was going to throw him an over the hill party, and she had started getting like the foam gravestones and stuff, and like it was going to be a surprise party. And he found out about it and shut it completely down. Was not feeling it. So we just had like all this like macabre, like you're over the hill stuff. I think there was like a novelty cane, and went to waste.
That's incredibly on brand for both of your parents. Like, perfectly on brand.
But as I sit here, like a mere few years away from that, and thinking about death a lot, I could see where he was coming from.
I'm throwing you a children's birthday party for your 40th birthday.
Cool.
So
That's
get
Creepy.
excited.
also on brand for both of us.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to business. Getting serious. Mea culpa of the week.
So this is small.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, you just referenced the same thing.
Okay.
Owl Boy does not exist. Ben was talking about our son and wanting to run at super speed. So It's super cat speed. And our son prefers to be cat boy, who is blue.
He said owl boy.
Owlette.
You weren't there.
Owlette
That's
is
not my
the girl.
Owlette.
That's not my fault. That's what he said.
He didn't say
I don't
that.
fucking know who these people are.
Well, I'm just saying that if he's going super fast, he's talking about super cat speed.
That's bullshit. Then I can now be held accountable for a child misquoting something.
I believe that he probably was telling you, as he told me when I got home, that something of Owlette's was stolen and he needed to use his super cat speed to get to it to save the day.
This is nonsense.
I feel like much like that woman's arm, I feel like we're only getting half the picture here. Could you paint a better picture, Ben? What's going on?
My sobbing child sat on my lap and talked about Catboy or Owlboy.
See?
Fuck.
Catboy.
God
And
fucking
you
damn
said
it.
Owlboy and you were
Fuck.
wrong.
Tisk, tisk.
Now it's in my head.
tisk.
Watch a
Gotcha.
cartoon with your kid once in a while instead of just for your own pleasure, and then you'll know.
I did, as we'll get into here. Speaking of misquoting something, this is not a mea culpa, but I noticed a disturbing trend in our episode last week, and I needed to call it out. So here you go.
Honey, 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 honey.
Every kid had to go down the honey pot. It was so sad I shit my pants.
It's not my job to interpret. You know, you see what's there and you pull the strings together, and, you know, sometimes you find the aliens.
It sounded like a weird, like the beginning of a Roman Polanski film there. It was just, what the fuck is going on?
Same difference. It was a Winnie the Pooh song.
Yeah.
The honey song.
Yeah. Oh, the honey pot.
We're all familiar.
Yeah. Roman Polanski's Winnie the Pooh.
That would be disturbing. You know what that would be like?
Fidel Sassoon.
That'd be like that fucking Joker movie. You guys seen that movie? It looks so,
Oh, it's so
fucking dark.
sick and twisted.
Oh, shit. I heard Joaquin Phoenix sent rats to people in the mail. It's so fucking dark.
Wait, really?
No, that was Jared Leto.
No, that was Jared
I'm
Leto.
mixing my metaphor.
Like
but-
in real life he did that?
Yeah. Because
He
he's so
sent-
sick and twisted.
He sent rats to people?
Yeah. When he was,
Yeah, he was trying to be like a aggressive prankster or something, and so he just sent his co-stars dead rats.
So he was an asshole.
Yeah, he's
don't know.
crazy.
That doesn't come off as crazy. That just comes up as being a jerk.
Wow. Shailen, I know you need to reclaim woke status here, but
I'm just saying.
we don't have to push it. You know?
Listen, one time my friend sent me a banana in the mail,
Mhm.
and it was hilarious. It wasn't packaged. He just wrote my address on the banana skin. It was weird. And let me tell you, a dead rat, not funny, not interesting. Jerky.
Listeners, if you disagree with Shailen and her hatred for Jared Leto, hashtag Jared Let No.
And the weird thing you didn't mention about that story is what was with the banana.
What was that?
Half an arm.
Half an arm.
Would you stop making fun of this poor
I
woman?
wasn't. I'm making fun of you. It's different.
I wouldn't have taken a picture if I realized this. I'm just letting you know.
What was it like meeting Winter Soldier?
He had his whole
Oh,
arm.
that was a whole
missing.
arm.
Yeah.
That was a whole arm.
It's even
Yeah.
worse.
Fuck.
So on to this week. And we are watching, I would say, a classic.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like I think a lot about old cartoons for the show. And you've got your Transformers and your Joes and your He-Mans and your Rubik the Amazing Cubes. But you also have Thundercats. And I feel like Thundercats is one that hasn't necessarily had the same resurgence that a lot of these other ones have. Good jumping off point.
I think I was reading about this, and there's been a couple updates. And there was a recent one. I think it was slated to come out.
2011 there was one.
There was one in
That's right.
2011, but there was a more recent one slated to come out 2018, 2019. And it was like they're trying to go a little more comedic and a little more irreverent, I guess, with it. But
You can't do that.
You can't do. Well, that's the fan base, the Thundercat fan base. We're like, no comedy. You're gonna ruin it, and like it hasn't taken off yet.
But doesn't it have its own brand of actual humor? Like, I don't know how you tongue in cheek something that's silly.
Is it
What?
silly?
I feel like there was a lot of stuff that was meant to be kind of funny.
This was deadly serious business.
Huh. I remember
There's nothing more serious than the law.
And Mexican food.
a Mexican
Oh
food.
yeah.
So I'm going to jump in a little bit here.
Please do.
I remember watching Thundercats. I did not remember it to be like this episode of Thundercats at all. Like, really even a little.
Okay. What did you remember?
I remembered it being more like using the whole gang and not just like the one dude. And I remember I don't remember it just being like one cyborg being angry about Law and Order. I don't know. This feels
show.
anomalous to the rest of the show.
Hmm.
Was it not? Like,
Was it?
I was little, so I don't know.
Well, Ben, you pick the show.
Yep.
And I'll ask you, why this episode? What's your problem?
Who gives you the right?
Yeah.
I do, because
Where do you get the nerve?
So Thundercats is one that has been on my list for a while. Just as you got to hit those tent poles, right? And I feel like we've
sure.
hit a lot of them over the past few months here. And Thundercats just seemed a logical choice. I had the Sort of Omens as a kid. I don't remember a lot about Thundercats. I remember watching it, but not any of the specifics. Now, as for this particular episode, as with many things in life, you go down the internet rabbit hole.
Sure.
And some people search for like the best things to watch, and some people search for like what's the most emotional. I just search for like what is the weirdest possible thing you can watch. So this episode's actually been on my to-do list for quite a while because, I mean, just to jump ahead a little bit, it's all about Mexican food.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an episode that showed up
The Mexican MacGuffin.
yeah. It's an episode that showed up in the middle of the run. And I find that with a lot of these cartoons that have extended runs, that's really where you get the weird stuff, right? Like,
Oh, sure.
you know, like I'll use Transformers as a corollary because I've been watching a little of original Transformers. The first 20 episodes or so of that, great. Because they had a clearly established idea, a clearly established group of heroes and villains, and clearly established plot lines. Thundercats, very similar. You know, you had Lion-O and his crew, Mum-Ra and his crew. But as you get further and further in, and as you've already made toys for most of that stuff, you have to...
You need new toy ideas.
You need new stuff. So like this episode has like a tertiary villain group and this weird fucking RoboCop Judge Dredd woman. And like it just... is so off the rails and so like authentically weird, not like ironically weird, just like, that is not what I was expecting about the cat people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I was eager to get into Thundercats because I don't remember watching it as a kid. I had my cousin's hand-me-down toys, and that was pretty much my experience with Thundercats. So I knew what the characters looked like, their weapons and all that. But yeah, I was very excited to dive into this. And then when you sent the episode, I started watching it. I was like, the fuck is happening? Where are all the cats?
Yeah.
Where are the Thundercats?
Where are your
And
favorites?
where's the thunder?
Like Cheetara and Tigra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a few of them. You got a few of the old favorites.
You get Lynx O.
That's right. That's right. But it's an interesting show. And so let's talk about it a little bit here. It was the brainchild of two companies. One was Leisure Concepts, which is my favorite name for a company ever.
It's
and
the fakest sounding company.
It's my life mantra. It's just Leisure Concepts, baby.
How
Love
that
it.
is not the name of a porn store, I don't know.
It might be.
It
We don't know.
probably is.
Yeah.
Hashtag local porn store. So Leisure Concepts, an American licensing company that actually came up with a lot of the look. And
Okay.
then the animation part was Rankin Bass, who you would know most for a lot of the old holiday specials. So like
Yes.
Rudolph and Frosty, that was all them. They also did a few kind of more, I'm saying more normal cartoons. That it's all relative. Doesn't make sense. But, like,
Cartoons like what?
the Jackson 5, the Osmonds, Silverhawks, which is a contemporary to this.
More traditional
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah. Knowing that the Osmonds had a cartoon is news to me.
Oh,
So
they had everything.
yeah.
I think
They
we've
don't
talked
call
about
it a dynasty for
I'm sure that
nothing.
we have. I'm sure we've talked about it. And I probably said then, that's pretty weird. I didn't see that one coming. Or something angrily saying,
Totally.
Fuck the Osmonds. Ugh! I think that's how you reacted.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not my performers.
Big foreheads.
But I mean, I think at its core, because we're talking about a mid-show run here, a mid-run episode here, it's a sci-fi series about a bunch of sexy cat people who are looking for a new home, right? So they are from Thundera, which explodes for one reason or another, and the Thundercats go into stasis, and they are looking for a new home, and they end up on Third Earth. So the initial run had Lion-O and Snarf and Cheetara and all the gang. And like I said, the big antagonist was Mum-Ra and his crew. That took up a lot of the first, I think, season and a half or so. But the show continued. So you got new side heroes like the Burbills, who were the bear robots. Do you guys know the Burbills?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
We should have watched a Burbill episode.
We can later and soon, maybe. I love bears in general.
Sure.
And the Burbills are definitely part of that. They're part of the reason why.
Yeah. Why Bills? Why not like Burbots?
Two on the nose.
This is not a show that worried about things being on the nose.
No.
Anyway, so it went off in a lot of different directions. They eventually get a new Thundera. The show gets increasingly insane, as we'll talk about as we go here. But I mean, say what you will about this. I think the animation quality and the music quality for this are still fairly high.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
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 Definitely.
For it being based off of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, I think this was fantastic. Fantastic sci-fi.
lot of sexy cats.
Yeah.
Sort of a weird thing.
I mean, cats are inherently a sexy kind of beast, right? Like
Go on.
Hold on.
in the animal kingdom.
We're at 24:56, Ben. That's where you can save that.
Don't worry, I got it.
You guys are jerks. Like you don't think alligator sexy, right? There's no sleek lines. There's no murder nails. It's different.
Please continue.
This is what
Go
I
on.
got. I don't really have much more than that.
I think I want to bypass talking about the episode to continue this thread here. Let's follow it to its logical conclusion. What other animals aren't sexy?
aren't
Mhm.
goldfish, except for Jade, my old goldfish that had the weird googly eyes,
Very sexy.
like the stripper she was named after.
Very good.
Just
Well,
knew how to
listeners,
move.
True.
listeners, we want to hear from you. What animals you find sexy? # bombshellminals.
Bomb shell minerals.
That's right.
Catwoman was the villain in Batman for a reason. Cheetah was the villain for Wonder Woman for a reason.
What about new Catwoman with Halle Berry? Or new Catwoman with Anne Hathaway?
Both sexy.
Meow.
They weren't like Rhino Girl. Not sexy.
What about Paul Giamatti as the Rhino in The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Incredibly sexy.
Mm-hmm.
That is the exception that proves the rule.
Like this, yeah. In Mother Russia, rhinos gore you. You go.
I'm not comfortable with the train that we're headed on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got us on it.
No, I mean specifically the fake Russian accent.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's fine. Paul Giamatti did it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul Giamatti.
You're welcome. Paul Giamatti sucks.
What
right?
the hell was that?
Every
What were
Paul
you trying
Giamatti,
to do?
every Paul Giamatti movie I watch, he's just doing like a schlubby kind of like mumbling, like almost like a schlubby Jeff Goldblum.
Mhm.
Like it's awful. I
What else
hate
is
Paul
he in?
Giamatti.
I will counterpoint American Splendor, which
Haven't
is a
seen it.
fantastic movie.
Okay, he's good in that. Lady in the Water, which is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. He's in what's the wine movie? Sideways.
Yep.
I didn't see Sideways, and that is a long and sad tale.
Yeah. Don't get Shailen started on this.
All right. Yeah, it
She'll
involves
cut
someone
somebody
with
else.
half an arm.
Yeah, she'll cut somebody else's arm off.
Yeah.
Was he Santa Claus in something?
Yeah. Fred Claus.
Oh, I didn't see that. I must have just seen the ads.
Oh, man. You've probably seen the whole movie then.
Probably.
Listeners, hashtag Paul Giamatti Stan. So the episode we watched was Sideswipe, which I feel like is not necessarily an accurate descriptor, but it was in the middle of the second season. So the first season was 65 episodes, and they all had like 20-ish from there. But I feel like as we get into this show was proof that, like, if you have a successful run, like a successful idea, you could put fucking anything to celluloid and baby, that's getting on television.
Oh, hell yeah.
For that reason, I respect it.
Yep.
Thundercats was famous for this kind of thing, like just inventing the most batshit scenarios. And then they had like the Sword of Omens, which was the ultimate fixer. And it would just fix things. And this is kind of an example of that.
It is an example of that. And what's great about this is that it does not advance the ultimate plotline of the series. Very much?
Heartily disagree.
Okay.
Because we found out they like Mexican food.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, and you got to know what they love.
Man, I wish I could have a taco right now.
You could.
I'm not going to make a taco right now.
What kind of tacos do you find sexy?
I don't know how to answer that question.
You see
Like a shrimp taco because of the odor?
Ew.
Oh, Jesus.
Get out.
Fucking hell.
I divorced Ben earlier. You're unfriended.
I don't even remember why that happened. What did I do?
Jerk.
Oh, well, par for the course. So the guy who wrote...
So Shaylin can take a picture of someone with half an arm and make fun of her.
I didn't make fun of her. It was an accident.
And I can't say a lovely shrimp taco joke.
It just grossed me out. That's all.
The episode was written by William Overgard, and he's an interesting guy because he has some other cartoon chops, but primarily this was a dude who wrote and drew a lot of comic strips in the 50s and 60s. So that's sort of a new one for us.
It kind of checks out with the plot line.
It does. He also wrote some 70s movies, including one, Shaylin, that will be near and dear to your heart, and that is, of course, The Last Dinosaur.
Oh, man.
Denver?
That's... No.
I wish, but maybe it was the precursor.
It's
maybe.
precursor.
Yeah. It kind of sounded like a mix of Jumanji and The Most Dangerous Game.
It's sad.
Ooh.
You've seen this movie?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I used to watch a lot of WLVI TV 38.
WLVI
TB 56?
Kids
Probably
Club. Yeah.
My dad didn't have cable when my parents got divorced, so I watched a lot of 38 and 56. And they had a lot of B movies.
We probably
These
have
are local television channels, listeners who don't live in Boston.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Thanks for clarifying, Dave.
I'm just helping out.
He lives at number. I'm just kidding.
We probably have a version of that movie on DVD, but if I find it, it's not the version.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
do
a
not.
bootleg BBC version that doesn't star Peter Firth.
Hashtag movie watch. I can't remember what movie it was anymore.
It was Northanger Abbey.
It was
Thank you.
Northanger Abbey. And also, I know that I don't have it on DVD because this is one of those ones that, so my dad used to, he might still, honestly, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He would do the thing with the VHS cassette tapes where he'd set it to 6 hours and he would just record 6 hours of television
Sure.
and then watch 6 hours and then the next day record over it with a new 6 hours of television until the tape broke.
So this is a sad story, but I have to tell it.
I can't wait.
In the days before a young man had ready access to the internet, I had a VCR in my bedroom and we had Encore. So I would do a similar thing to your dad, except I would just tape 6 hours of Encore at a time in hopes of like a stray nipple. Spent a lot of time curating that. It didn't necessarily come to much.
I'm going to say this about you and I mean it kindly, but that's very on brand.
What the fuck?
Constantly searching for nudes.
Constantly in search of nipple.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what that means,
Nothing
really.
to be ashamed of.
I'm just making fun of you as a child before I even knew you. I'm sorry.
I think for people our age, our generation, I think trying to figure out pre-internet how to see a boob is there was a sort of a a rite of passage.
That's true. My passages were different. Do you remember the episode of Friends when they...
No.
Go on. Is this about sexy cats again?
No, there was an episode where
about Marcel
like
the
they
monkey.
had, I think it was Friends, where they thought they were watching a scrambled porn channel, but then they realized it was the surgery channel. And Joey went, but if you think about it, they're still naked. And that was like the big punchline of the episode.
Do you remember when my brother got you that surgery book for Christmas?
Yes. It remains one of the best gifts I've ever received just because it was so tangentially connected to my life. It was
so
good.
tangentially, I don't even think I want to explain it.
All I know is he put a lot of thought into it, and I still have that book. So
Sure.
if the apocalypse hits, we have instructions for removing an appendix safely.
Mm-hmm.
Or
It's a good
half
gift.
of an arm.
That is actually in the book.
Nice.
There are pictures in color.
When I was a kid, it was like we're getting really far, of course. Here, my mom has needed hip replacement for a long time, and one time we went to the Science Museum in the city, and they had like a medical section, and they had a video up of somebody getting a hip replacement surgery, and my mom, for whatever reason, thought this would be a good thing to watch. I don't know,
Old enough to know it was a bad idea.
old enough to go, Jesus Christ, or something like, Jesus Christ, which would just mean Shaylin was there.
You were say you were Shaylin when you were younger?
Holy shit! No! Oh boy! Just fucking crazy. So I feel like we're talking around a lot of things.
Yes.
And I feel like
Yes.
that adds a certain amount of flavor.
A bit of context, if you will.
Yes. But I'm skipping the song. So contextual feeling.
Fine.
The number 1 and number 3 movies, we've talked about them in the past. You get Crocodile Dundee on number 1. This is October 3rd, 1986, by the way.
A great day in history.
Number 3 was Top Gun. The real story is what they were sandwiching. What was the cream in that Oreo? That, of course, is the movie Tough Guys, starring Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas.
What the fuck?
I pulled a little bit of Roger Ebert's review.
Hold on. I've never heard of this movie. Shaylin, have you heard of this movie?
I've heard of it, but I don't remember seeing it, which leads me to believe
Let's-
it was probably something my grandparents had on video.
I actually don't believe that you even heard of it, but the title is so generic and it has Kirk Douglas, so it feels like probably one of 150 movies.
I could be confusing it with other movies.
I just refuse to believe that all of these obscure movies that you have somehow heard or seen of all of them.
This is why I'm so good at Balderdash.
Shaylin, let's do a little exercise here before Ben goes into the reviews. What do you think this movie is about?
I think that this is a movie where I'm picturing...
Two sexy cats.
No. I think that this is a movie where they wear cowboy hats.
Okay.
And I'm basing that on a VHS cover that I can envision in my mind's eye in my grandparents' living room.
It's vaguely about... Well, actually, Dave, do you have a guess?
It is. I don't want to say cops, maybe lawmen of some sort. Two aging lawmen come together for one last hurrah against crime, or a ne'er do well.
So the good news is, neither of you is exactly right. It's vaguely about gangsters.
Okay.
So they are gangsters who have been in prison and now they're out and they're going for one last score, and Dana Carvey is in it. But I think Roger Ebert sums it up better than any of us could, who have never seen the movie.
Can't wait.
Watching Tough Guys, you begin to meditate. You look at Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster, and you remember years and years of movie going. Tough Guys might have been better if Douglas and Lancaster had played characters who were a little more fallible, humble, and realistic. Roger Ebert, the king of just like that biting takedown. His written reviews are just fantastic, fantastic stuff if you haven't read them.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Really
Going
awesome
back
stuff.
to you can pick any movie at random from his massive catalog and just enjoy it.
Yeah. The 1-star reviews are really the best, but
So how many stars did he give this one?
let's assume 1. 1 to 1.5.
So I was pretty close. One last hurrah kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wonder what movie with the word tough and cowboy hats I'm envisioning with Burt Lancaster.
You're thinking of Tough Guns.
Or Tough Customers.
Tough Young Guns.
All of these are plausible.
Mhm.
My grandpa was really into cowboy movies.
We'll look it up. Do your research, Shaylin.
I will.
Do your research.
My grandpa was really into sexy cats.
Who wouldn't be?
That's probably why he was my Facebook friend.
That's right.
Speaking of sexy cats, let's get into Thundercats.
You're welcome.
So let's start with the song, which is a ripper, but let me warn you, it's a doozy. My favorite part of that song is when you're 55 seconds in and there's a shot of all the Thundercats together and the music comes to a crescendo and you're ready to go. And then it continues for another 25 seconds.
It keeps going.
Yeah. It's eternal. But it rocks.
It's
I love
so
it.
good.
Yeah. It does a really good job, too, of setting up this particular episode because it shows all of the classic cats who are all well represented here.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We'll get to that point. We've alluded to it.
Fun fact about the Thundercats. In the first episode, they all come out of their cryopods or whatever. And you know how they all wear like leotards and stuff?
Yeah.
None of them are wearing any clothes whatsoever when they come out. So they're all just nude.
They're cats.
So there's just naked, sexy cats.
They're not anatomically correct, which is admittedly a huge disappointment, probably
Yeah.
to Shaylin, who loves them sexy like. But
I like cats. I'm not like into them. I just think they're nice.
I will insert here
Yes.
your quote.
Cats are inherently a sexy kind of beast.
I've inserted it.
I always kind of conflated He-Man with Thundercats.
They do have that very similar feel to them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
big, muscly, homoerotic kitty cats.
And
Yeah.
Chilla, who we'll meet in a few minutes here, has the same hairstyle as He-Man to
True.
like to
Yes.
the T.
Yes.
So I had a hand-me-down Lion-O,
Mhm.
and I thought that he was part of the Masters of the Universe until I was probably like 7, and my brother was like, "That's Lion-O."
Mhm.
So, end of story.
Very similar look.
Similar
Similar
look.
timetable too.
They fit together.
So we open up. We're in the Tower of Omens, which is kind of the Thundercats' home base on Third Earth. And we get a little bit of dialogue that I feel it does its job. It sets the episode up.
Where's Snarfer?
We decided not to cook today, so he went to order Mexican takeout from Robert Roberto's taco stand at the Burble Village. Chili con carne, refried beans, beef enchiladas, guacamole.
Enough! You're making my mouth water.
It's just like
Chili con carne.
it's just like immediately like you're like, oh, this is going to be an interesting one.
This episode, it spoke to me, to my soul. We didn't feel like cooking, and now we're going to list a bunch of delicious food.
Mhm.
And I was
we're
like,
sexy cats.
this cartoon is everything to me.
Yeah.
It gets me.
Yeah, you know, you got your He-Man fighting for the Eternia. You got the Transformers working to save Teletran 1 and get that to Cybertron. But you got Linkso and Lion-O and
Snarfer
and they-
looking for Mexican
They just
food.
want a
Chili
couple,
con carne.
couple of wet burritos. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, chili con carne. Oh. What is Linkso? Like some sort of like Scottish pirate? Or I couldn't figure out his accent.
Unimportant.
Yeah, the accent is tough to decipher.
Yeah.
Linkso was one of a few Link Space characters that came in around this time. They weren't original Thundercats, but they joined the team later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times Mexican takeout was uttered?
No.
4.
Is that all?
4 times.
Only
It feels
4.
like it was a lot more.
I do too. I may have miscounted. I may have missed a few, but at least 4, which is too many times for a 22-minute show.
Disagree.
Like
That's like
also
every quarter. It's a quarterly reference.
yeah.
Well, this is like 4 times in 5 minutes. They're on Third Earth.
Correct.
I thought, like, I came into the show not knowing anything about the universe, but like I thought they were on a completely different planet. So where are they getting Mexican food on this this far out planet?
From Robert Roberto's.
Robert Roberto's.
They established that.
They were not only
Yeah.
clear about it, they were very specific.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? What world is this?
I'm
where they
trying
have
to remember
Mexican
the
food?
interdimensional happenings here, and admittedly, I didn't catch all up. It's a rich lore, but it's Third Earth, so one can assume that there are 2 others just like it.
They're
Like ours.
in the
A
future,
third Mexico.
and they saved the good parts of the past,
Yeah.
including Mexican takeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. These alternate universes and timelines, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Save those torta recipes.
Hell yeah, tortas are delicious.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Tolera bread, ooh baby.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, and don't forget chili con carne.
Shout out to Tanach.
Whoop whoop.
Yep. Holler. So we're talking about Mexican food here. And so Snarfer we should talk about the Thundercats here. Lion-O is wearing his standard blue unitard. Lynxo is wearing like a ninja headband, like the Karate Kid. And he has on like this onesie looking thing. Lion-O.
So they're all dressed
has-
like we dress when we record.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
More or less. Lion-O,
Love my recording
his
unitard.
markings make it look like he has tan lines.
Yeah.
And Lynxo's make it look like he just stuck his paws into a big pile of shit.
Is
So-
Lynxo blind?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. All right.
I thought that was made horrifically clear, but maybe not.
The Braille
well-
board. Braille, Dave.
Yeah, I know that, but
Yeah.
like, it wasn't. I didn't know if like that was a reference to that, and like why was that such an important thing? We'll get to it.
It's
But,
important
like, yeah,
because he's
it was-
blind, Dave.
To be fair, when they
But
said
he gets around very well.
because he has the braille board.
Right.
The
okay.
braille. Well, we have a lot to talk about with the braille board, but before we get there, we have to meet some more characters because
More
characters are
characters.
important. So we see Snarfer. He's got the Mexican food in his spaceship, which looks like a wooden bird. You know, like the one Homer had in The Simpsons where he got fat and he said it to just hit the Y key over and over.
It's-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the one that just does what they call like perpetual motion bird or something.
Something like that. Anyway, so that's what it looks like. And he's there. And then we meet Chilla, who was apparently in the Blues Brothers, if you listen closely.
I don't know why they allow these primitive, slow-moving junkers to clog up the spaces. I'm going to frost the furball.
This is amazing to me for 2 reasons. One, the characters, as the show went on, became less and less creatively named. Like, this woman can shoot ice, so her name is Chilla.
It makes sense.
It does. 2, again, thinking back to similar shows of the time, if you watched an episode of G.I. Joe, most of the episodes are going to be the Joes hanging out, Cobra coming up with some horrific plan, and the 2 sides coming together in a climactic battle.
Or maybe the games master is involved.
Exactly.
And you get fucked up.
There are giant babies.
But there is somebody with a plan. In this episode of the Thundercats, all of the episodes take place because Chilla gets road rage.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Everything
Thank you.
that happens from this point on is like complete happenstance. None of it. There is a plan to come later. My God, is there a plan to come? But like, she's just like, hey, it's a ship and it's moving slow. I'm going to hit him. And like, this could have been some asshole out in space.
Do you
What does it matter?
remember when I said that this episode spoke to me on a level of my soul?
Yeah.
I am Chilla
What?
in this episode. I am angry about people going slow. If I could freeze that fur ball in front of me and somehow get them out of my way so I can go faster around them, I would. And if I got in trouble for it and someone tried to write me a ticket for it, I would be irate and refuse to go to jail.
You know,
And you love sexy cats.
And also tacos.
and partial limbs.
All of it fits together except for the limbs. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, but that's not part of this episode.
Hashtag stump grinding.
That'll do. All right. God damn it. Thanks, Shailen,
You're welcome.
for stump grass. We have to move on. We have to move on. All right.
Yes, this whole episode is because there's one asshole in
Yeah.
space.
So Chilla whacks into the ship, and Snarfer is in the ship. But it's okay, kind of, because we meet the other protagonist here. And this, of course, is the famous space cop, Mandora.
This is Mandora, Evo Chaser First Class, in close pursuit of a hit and run. Over. What?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. Mandora. So she sounds kind of like she's aping John Wayne's accent, but she's part RoboCop. She's part Judge Dredd. She's a bizarre character.
So my hypothesis is that they found someone who probably speaks not English as their first language, but they can read. And so they just put a script in front of someone and they were like, phonetically read the script.
Are you going into a segment?
No, I wasn't.
No, I was all queued up.
The only fun fact I have about this voice cast
Mm-hmm.
is that my friend one time had beer with Lionel.
Wait. Okay.
And he
Continue.
said he was a really good guy.
Oh, like the cat himself?
The man who played the cat. And also, so the man who played the cat also said that his children thought of him as a celebrity after Thundercats, but before and after his kids did not care for his career.
Did your friend sleep with the Lion-O voice actor and say he was a real lion in the sack?
He didn't, but let's just go ahead and see if he's listening. Hashtag, if you slept with Lion-O, let us know.
So this story is not connected to anybody I know, so I feel comfortable telling it. One time when I was in college, Peter Tork came and was giving...
This is such a good story.
He gave like a motivational speech or something. And a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. I'll just keep adding these layers in just to confuse the issue.
It's more than six degrees of Kevin Bacon.
I wouldn't go that far. But
7 bacon.
7 bacon.
My friend one day pointed this girl out and said, "Do you see that girl?" And I said, "Yeah." And I knew who she was. We knew each other, but not well by any means. And he went, "Yeah, she fucked Peter Tork." And it's like, I was like, "That dude from the Monkees?" And it just goes to show that, like, if you have any modicum of star power and you go on like a college speaking tour and you're ready to mingle, you're going to be rolling in some ladies,
Which is why WatchBots is happy to announce our university tour coming up in 2020, spring of 2020.
I was going to say summer is not the ideal time. Yeah.
Yeah. We would just fail.
Seems
That would
likely.
be-
Yeah.
Some colleges offer summer courses and are active throughout the summer. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Listeners, we want to hear from you. If you've ever railed Peter Tork, hashtag Peter Torktail.
Peter Torked.
Damn it. So
Peter Porked.
we're about a minute and a half into the episode here, but we get the most disturbing insult of all.
Flatfoot.
Flatfoot is like a bizarre reference to make in this show. It's something that Flat Top would have said to Dick Tracy in 1937.
Yeah, there's a lot of like 1950s cops, like dragnet, like dialogue going on here.
Yeah.
But 35 years later.
Yeah.
But it fits
Yeah.
because our script writer, primarily the writer of the episode, did like 50s comic strips.
Yeah, and I guess similar to that too, where a storyline would play out in your dailies for 6 to 8 weeks. This episode, much like ours, is just so meandering. There's not really a point to it. Like, we're just hanging out in space, and Mandora drives Chilla to the ground, Snarfer lands there, and it takes like a month. But the gist of this is that Mandora is giving Chilla a ticket and also a really long speech. I pulled a little of it, but not the whole thing.
Thank God.
Too fast, too low, and too bad. I'm writing you up for reckless rocketing.
She just keeps going on and on and on. And so Chilla's action here becomes almost reasonable, right?
I strongly agree she's reasonable.
Now,
Yeah.
I think what really happened is that she sprayed her with ice, right? So she couldn't breathe because her throat was frozen.
Is that what happened?
I think so, given what happens in a minute. But
I thought that she like throat punched her.
I thought that she
at first.
I thought she pepper sprayed her.
Oh, okay.
Jalen?
I think it's ice.
I think it's ice. Is that what you thought at the time, though? Like when you watched it live?
When I was watching it, I was on a train, and
Sure.
a dude that I don't know leaned over to tell me about the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't need to talk to you about this. And I switched seats.
Did you
I thought it was ice.
give him the link to the show?
No.
We need those numbers.
I do not want that person to know anything about me.
Just want the downloads, Shaylin.
I don't need the downloads enough for this person to want to interact with me.
You saw that he had half an arm, and you were like, "Don't sit near me," and you moved away.
Was this a cat person of some sort?
He had 4 halves of arms, and he had a smell.
He had 4 arms?
4 halves of arms.
So he had 4 half arms?
Speaking of cat people, was this show the prequel or sequel to Cat People, the erotic thriller starring John Hurt?
I would say the sequel, but it's sort of the alternate universe to the Mary Tyler Moore film, Ordinary People.
Mm-hmm.
It's
you wanna
also
put it
the
in the
spiritual
universe. The First
successor
Earth?
to
Yeah.
Night of a Thousand Cats,
Oh my god! I
where there's a
love
lot
that
of
movie.
helicopters.
A fine film.
Yeah.
But Mandora she's rolling on the ground, writhing in pain. And then Snarfer comes up. And I sort of relate it to Snarfer here because this poor woman is like, she's struggling. She can't breathe. And Snarfer is just like chatting away. I thought it was the funniest shit ever. Let's listen.
Holy hot sauce! Chilla's iced Officer Mandora. Hey, that gives me an idea. Handcuff Mandora. I'll fix you up. I've got just the thing. Yep.
So what I appreciated about this episode of Thundercats is it doesn't hesitate to tell you what's going on at any point. Like,
Holy crap!
she's clearly like rolling on the ground, fucked up. Oh, she iced her.
Hence why I thought it was ice.
Yeah. But thank God for this Mexican food because
We got it,
Snarfer-
Dave. We got it.
Okay, sorry. Go on, Ben.
Snarfer has the magic key to make her feel better.
Oh, whoa. What was that you gave me? Some new super secret space medicine? No, it was the hot sauce from the Mexican takeout dinner.
Meow.
She thought it was drugs.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because she's some sort of robot with like a RoboCop visor, so could have fucked her up. I guess hot sauce, not a big deal, though. But they decide to team up together to go see the Thundercats for reasons I'm not clear on, but it's not important.
Because don't they still have to deliver the Mexican food?
Yeah, and Mandora had to do something.
She had a message to deliver to the Thundercats.
What that message was never made clear.
But that was what she told us, the audience.
She had a crush on Lionel.
Fair enough. I could
Who
see
doesn't?
that. Yeah, I could see that. So
Mandora's box.
we go to the lair of Luna, who is the head of the Lunatics, and Luna, she kind of looks like the Bride of Frankenstein if you put her like in a press. You know what I mean?
No. She looks like a cross between the porn superstar Bridget the Midget and Aunt Bethany from Christmas Vacation. That's picture it.
I don't know the
Meld it
porn
together.
star, but the Aunt Bethany is accurate.
I could see that.
Paint it. Yeah, paint that
could see that,
picture.
yeah.
It's coming together.
Yeah.
You love it. Laughs ensued.
Check out Rule 34 for that.
Christmas Vacation.
Jesus. I'm sure that exists.
Oh, yeah.
So Chilla's griping, right? She's like, I got a ticket. This shit sucks. And then Luna uses this as the springboard to a very simple plan. I won't necessarily play the whole thing, but let's get a little bit.
With Linkso's braille board, the Thundercats can get to us. If we could capture that braille board, we could design a defense against it. But I don't see the only way Mandora can get to you.
All right, I'll cut it there. It goes on for another 15 seconds. But the gist of Luna's plan is somehow she knows that Mandora is going to chase her. Because as we find out later, Mandora is very obstinate. But they need the Braille board, which is, as far as I can tell, sort of a Thundercats GPS device, right? Because it hooks into the bike, and Linkso, who knows his way through the Forest of the Mists, can program it, and it gets them through safely. I think you're right. Okay.
I'm going to ask a question here. What? So this whole episode hinges on Chilla's road rage, right?
Well, actually, it hinges on the Mexican food, but
Mexican food.
in a very,
Mexican food and road
in
rage.
a secondary way, yes.
I would have rage if someone took my Mexican food or delayed it.
Sure.
So all of
Yes.
those things are true.
Someone stole your sexy cat away from you. But what, so was Luna just kind of sitting around in her base just waiting for something like this to happen?
Yes.
She's been waiting for an opening to get the braille board.
Okay. Now, Luna wants the Braille board to keep, and we'll get to this later, to keep the Thundercats out of their, part of the world.
That's correct.
Right.
She's not a villain, if that's your question.
Luna?
What was that?
Yeah.
Luna is a villain.
She's
No,
only
she's
a
not.
villain in this. She's really not a villain. All she wants to do is protect herself and her friends from the Thundercats trying to imperialize
So
her.
Luna and the Lunatics were unleashed by Mum Ra, and then they fell back to this dark side or whatever. They're villains in the context of the show.
In the context of the greater part of the show, sure. But in this episode, she's not a bad guy. All she really wants to do is make it so that people can't imperialize where she lives.
Yeah. I had the same reading.
I don't want the Thundercats to take my house.
She's like a Luke Skywalker, a Lunac Skywalker, if you will.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
She's like the predecessor to the Trail of Tears. She's the generation that was like, no, you can't live where I live. And then she got ordered off her land anyway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That is a deep read.
I like it, though.
It's been a big day.
I bet it has. But
It has.
you guys are you're spending time on the non-important things here, what these characters' motivations are, because there are better times ahead. I would say directly ahead, like the sweet joke about chili.
We brought it back on Mandora's bike, except by now it's chilly.
Brr.
Oh, it's so good.
I guess it has the rim shot too.
I was going to say the absolute best part of this is that there's just a very quiet rim shot there in the background to tell you this is a good joke.
This whole scene inside the Temple of Omens with Mandora and the Thundercats, it's
Oh my God.
nobody has ever spoken to any other being.
Yeah. Or seen anybody.
Yeah.
Because Linkso comes out.
Oh, yeah.
And Mandora, camera cuts to Mandora. She looks, sees Linkso. And then the camera goes from Linkso's head, tilts down to his feet. We get a full body shot of Linkso here. And it's just Mandora is checking out Linkso and his tight cat bod.
Is that your read on it? Because I think that's a fair read, but I think you slightly misrepresented the camera shot, right? Because it's not from head to toe. It's from shoulder to knee. It doesn't encompass his full body, which made it feel somehow weird.
Even dirtier.
Just really weird.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to get as fast to the crotch as possible. Yeah.
And it just had a lingering shot of his kitty Red Rocket.
Yeah. It's something
You are
that Shaylin
gross.
enjoyed.
That's not true.
I'm going to put the clip in here.
I love sexy cats.
That's the one.
Get out.
You said it, not me. So the takeaway from this, Mandora wants
honey pot.
to chase into the land to get Chilla, and Linkso is going to go with her. And Lion-O and Snarf are a little confused because it's like this is the equivalent of like a parking ticket, right? But Linkso is a guardian of the law.
The law is the law, and the degree to which it is broken is not the point. I will accompany Mandora and use my portable braille board.
It was at this point that I looked down at the counter for the like for how long the episode had been going on. It had been going on for 7 minutes, which is a full third of the episode, and the highlight was Snarfer giving Mandora hot sauce so far.
No, the highlight was
Mexican food.
Chili con carne.
chili con carne. Arr.
Let's just say it's an interesting kind of pacing. not like an action movie per se. But anyway, so Mandora is driving her bike. Linkso is on the back with the braille board. They're going through a canyon and a forest. They're doing it for about a month. There's only one way through.
The howling twist. The only way to get through is to go with the flow. Spin.
Which is my favorite Queens of the Stone Age song. And there's something I should note here is that I watched about half of this episode with Shaylin, my son, and he doesn't know Thundercats, obviously. Why would he? But he had been watching it kind of quietly, and he looks up at me at this point as they're wandering through the caves, and he just said, and I quote, "Daddy, this doesn't seem like this is good." And then he turned back and he watched the rest of it. But I thought, yeah, he's kind of got it.
Yeah.
Thank God all those shit cartoons I've been showing him he still has that defining taste.
Yeah. So good on him. So they make it to like the dark side or the dark land or whatever. And Mandora continues to speak like a fucking lunatic. Like I won't play this clip, but she says things like, "If she wants pursuit, she will get it." It's fucking bizarre, man.
So her character is legitimately like the most single-minded and like most focused law enforcement agent that ever existed.
Yeah.
Worse than the Terminator.
Terminator's not a law enforcement agent.
Pretend he is. She's single-minded to a fault.
It's a real bastardization of the Terminator.
She's like the Terminator in that she's single-minded.
Yes.
Well, is she? Because she says something here about Chilla, and I wonder if there's a little history there. Let me let's pull this up. Get you guys read.
She must think I'm still wet.
I don't know.
That is not the full quote.
There a history there?
You are not putting context here. Yes, Dave?
So what we do here.
We make jokes.
Yeah, this is so weird. Like what's going on here? Like it just every time Mandora speaks, I don't like. Who is the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the Transformers episode we watched? Grimlock.
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 Oh. Thank you. Listening to Mandora was like listening to Grimlock. Just that cadence, that acting choice they went with. Like it works in spurts, but it does not work with minute-long dialogues.
So here's where you're wrong, Dave. Grimlock included jokes, and he was a hero. Grimlock, hero.
Yeah.
Whereas here, this character, she's not a hero. She's just kind of an overly self-righteous asshole.
She has jokes, though.
Yeah, not good ones, though.
We'll get there, but disagree.
Like, this is... She's the equivalent of the cop that parks like a mile away from the high school football game and only pulls over the kids that make fun of cops.
That's a really specific example.
I grew up in a small town. We had those. We had one cop who, like, he targeted certain people. And that's...
She's like that cop that made fun of me when my car went into a ditch.
No.
Yeah, it was October 3rd.
1986.
Yeah.
I was driving at the age of 2.5.
Correct.
I was going to see Tough Guys in the movie theater.
I was going to watch Kirk Douglas squirt a lime in his eye and snorts some salt and then drinks some tequila.
And say, that's a tough guy shot.
Boy, that joke would have worked better about 45 minutes ago, but
We got here.
you know, the spurts of inspiration come as they come.
Well, speaking of spurting, so Mandora's wet, and what's the next thing we're going to, Ben?
I want to push us ahead, but
Please
I can't. I can't because something important happens. Linkso is kind of the old man of the group. He's the sage, wise fella. And he's like old man yelling at Cloud because he has this bizarre argument about volcanoes, which I fucking loved.
You're wrong, Linkso. There are 4.
That can't be.
What? There were 3 volcanoes. Now there are 4.
Arg!
I have 5 fingers to count on, and there's more than before.
It's so weird. So they're chasing Chilla around.
Let me get out my navigational tools.
And Chilla...
My sextant.
Chilla... Isn't it weird that they call it a braille board? Because it has buttons. It doesn't have braille.
Yeah.
I know this is a tangent, but I don't know. It's fucking weird. Like lowest common denominator stuff. It's a cartoon. Don't say that. I know it is. I'm not an idiot. Or am I? I am. Anyway, so Chilla rides into this volcano because it turns out to be like a hologram or something. There's always holograms. There's also always nets. So Mandora and Lynx fly into this big net and they're caught. I feel like nets, and holograms for that matter, are things you see a lot in shows like this. But like, have you ever in your life used a net or tried to have you caught anything in a net? And I'm not talking like a butterfly net. I mean the real deal.
Caught a Wookiee and a rogue and a Jedi once.
A rogue?
Yeah.
I caught some sunfish in a net. Does that count?
But that's kind of like a butterfly net. I'm talking like
that's like a water butterfly.
Yeah.
A water fly.
Yeah. A water fly.
Oh, yeah. Why did that make me laugh?
I don't know, but I really appreciate that you did.
Oh God.
Tickled you the right way.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Anyway, listeners, we want to hear from you. If you ever caught anything in a net, hashtag fuck. Annette Benning. Okay. So they're caught. Linkso and Mandora are in the shit. And Luna now has the braille board. So this is the thing she wanted, right? So she reacts to it fucking crazy. Like, crazily? Whatever.
I wonder what would happen if I touched this big button at the end of the line.
Yeah, pushing big buttons. Maybe Mandora's history is with Luna. Who's to say?
Who knows?
I don't know. But so she hits 2 buttons on
Gotta get wet.
I didn't know you like to get wet.
Oh, I didn't know you like to get wet, Jake.
We'll repeat jokes. What of it?
What of
Applicable.
What of it?
Yes.
We only got like 3 to go around. Okay. So Luna hits the board, right? She touches 2 buttons on it. It disappears. She demands that Linkso be brought out because she wants to get the board back. And he explains what is going on in a very understandable kind of way.
It's the best line.
I hope I got the one you're thinking of.
Are you telling me what I was holding in my hands was an idea?
Correct.
What?
Correct.
She was holding an idea in her hand.
He had this board. It was a big fucking circuit board thing. It was plugged into the bike. And then it disappears and it's just his mind?
That's right.
That is wild.
That's right. And all of a sudden I'm Scottish. Correct.
Holy shit. What the fuck
Groundskeeper
is this?
Linkso.
This very brief exchange is every philosopher's dream. It's lovely.
Yeah. Just this was
this
wild.
tangible idea.
The simulacras. Simulated.
All of it.
So anyway, put that bizarre science aside. It don't matter. Luna decides to get Linkso hooked up to the skull scope. So she gets a dude in overalls who sounds like the guy who sang the Monster Mash.
Yes.
They hook him up to the skull scope.
Voiced by Vincent Price.
So they hook him up to the skull scope, and it looks like Lord Humongous's mask from Mad Max a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it looked like for Borderlands fans out there, it looked like one of the Borderlands like kind of easy enemies to kill.
Yeah, the psychos.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 big ups.
Whoop.
Whoop, whoop. So they have this cool machine. It's supposed to be able to read his thoughts. It's a mind reading machine. It doesn't work. But the screen that is supposed to project his thoughts, it's a very small screen. It's a very small television. This is very important in a few minutes when we get there.
Okay. I love that we have 30 seconds of explanation for the people out there when they buckle them in, they put on the helmet, and then they show for a full 10 seconds the screen and overall guy's finger pointing saying his thoughts will be projected on this screen.
Right.
There's only one screen in the entire room that's animated. But
right.
They still have to zoom in on this little teeny tiny thing with his finger in it to show that they do a better job of animating hands than anyone in Masters of the Universe.
I didn't even notice that.
I was so distracted by it that I rewound.
So it's good hands?
They're not even that realistic, but they are better than He-Man hands.
Hashtag State Farm.
Okay.
To me, the interesting thing of this skull scope, they have him in like this spike mask. Linkso never like screams, never moves. He seems like he's cool. He's good to go.
Fine.
Yeah, he's chilling.
And he can shut off his brain so they can't read it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
This whole machine
is blind.
is purposeless.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not a good use of resources. I would argue.
Perhaps Linkso has a very strong mind.
Could be.
But
you know what? We're spending a lot of time on things like why we spent so much time doing this and what the point of this machine was. We have to meet Vulture Man.
Yes, we do.
We cut to a cage where Mandora is, and then the camera very lazily moves over, it pans, and we see a scrawny man with the head of a vulture reading a newspaper.
Not wearing a shirt, not wearing pants, reading a newspaper, buck naked.
This Vulture Man was not a character I remembered, and we'll meet him in a second here. But when he popped
Vulture Man.
When he popped up, I just went, ah! He was freaky as shit.
Oh, yeah. All the Thundercats, they look like humanoid cats, right? They don't look like cat heads with human bodies. They look like a I don't know, just like Andrew Lloyd Webber's cats. But Vulture Man just looks like they took a vulture's head and slapped it onto a man's body. It's frightening. And he's naked to boot.
Yeah.
Thundercats aren't cat men, they're Thundercats. It's a different species. Vulture Man is a man with a vulture head.
So is Vulture Man his name, or are they just saying his race?
It's both.
He is Vulture Man. That is his name.
Okay.
But it's like our cat is Hamilton J. Cat. That's his name and his species.
That's way too personal to give out on the show, Shaylin.
Well, you should check out our Instagram because I talk about him a lot.
Hashtag Instagram. So, Shaylin, I buy your explanation, and I agree with you. It doesn't make that they drew the striations on his gaunt muscles any less freaky.
Oh, no, it's a freaky animation. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that that's the naming convention.
Anyway, he likes reading the paper.
Loves it.
We talked about it. Let's meet this fella. This cad.
You are in serious trouble, Vulture Man. Do you know the penalty for holding an officer against her will? 20 years to life on the Beano planet.
Oh, no kidding. Well, it looks to me like you're the one doing time.
This guy's just reading a newspaper. Loved it. I loved Vulture Man. He is joined quickly by a villain with red eyes who has the very clever name of Red Eye. And to paint the picture for the listener, he kind of looks like Krang's body. You know, like the robot body that Krang had.
Oh, excellent point.
Yeah. And I would say his defining characteristic is he loves to party.
What do you want, Red Eye?
Just thought I'd have a little fun with my posse.
Just having fun with his posse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I thought Red Eye looked like a mix between like a spider and a pig and a baby. It was just I couldn't figure out what Red Eye was other than a party monster.
I think Party Monster pretty much encompasses it. You know, that's what he is.
Yeah. Which is a great Macaulay Culkin movie, by the way.
You know who else likes to party? Vulture Man.
Give her a couple of shots.
He wants Mandora to have a good time.
Context.
Couple of Jello shots.
Shots.
Mandora gets a hold of Red Eye's stick here, which is called the pacifier, and it looks like a staff with an olive on the end, and she uses it to shoot red shit.
And then you find out, like, 10 minutes later, there are buttons on it.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a Q-tip or a matchstick.
With an olive on the end of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is where the Judge Dredd thing becomes really clear.
I am the law.
I am the law!
I am the law.
I am the law!
Perfection.
It's pretty funny.
I am the law!
Pretty funny that happens.
Oh,
So she escapes the hapless Red Eye and Vulture Man. And then we cut back to the Skull Scope. We're like fucking 10 minutes into this episode. It is so slow.
It's only 10 minutes?
It's something like that. Maybe.
Good
it's more.
Lord.
Quaalude cats.
I'm not talking about ours,
It
which
just-
almost did an hour 30. Almost.
Quaalude Cats.
I like Quaalude Cats.
Yeah.
Turned into our spin-off podcast, Quaalude Cats.
Quaalude cats.
What would we talk about on Quaalude Cats, Shaylin?
I would just describe our cats while they sleep.
And on the $30 Patreon tier, you get a Nest camera view of the house at all times.
And you get a view of our sexy, sexy cats.
That's right.
Can't fail. It's a great idea.
We'll send out a calendar. Sexy cats. Cats in Speedos. Cats out of Speedos. Cats in Thundercats gear.
We need to get a little tiny unitard for our cats.
Stump grinding cats.
Those must exist, right?
Oh, yeah.
You
they
go on like
exist.
Wish or one of those fucked up sites.
I bet Amazon has it. I bet you don't even have to go as far as Wish.
So do you know what bums me out? Targeted advertising, right? Because I look at some weird shit on the internet. It's okay. But then like I log into Facebook and they have the sponsored ads and mine are always for Wish, but it's like dental implants and like fucking just these weird, insane like suits and things like that. And they have nothing to do with what I've looked at. Like I'm not going, oh man, I wonder what dental implants are all about. But my Wish ads are always just crazy fucked up.
So as far as I can tell from the internet, all Wish ads are fucked up.
Oh, it's not just me?
It's not just you.
Oh, that's good.
And if
I feel
my
better.
targeted Wish ads are any indication, they have nothing to do with your internet browsing history at all.
Interesting. Dave, do you ever see Wish ads?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, check out wish.com and look up anything. They have things
Literally
like...
just browse that shit.
I've never
it's
heard
all
of
weird.
Wish.com. I didn't mean to like just cut your joke up from under you.
It's
This isn't a joke. This is real life. If you go to wish.com and look up like dildo, which is of course the first thing one looks up, it's funny because they have all these like really realistic like looking penises, but they have little like no smoking signs over the head and the ball sack as if that is like the
It's
thing
a
you need to worry
censorship
about.
thing.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird fucking crazy site.
So they also do this cool thing where they will send things to your address that you did not order and don't want.
Oh, yes. I want that.
We've had that happen to our house.
What?
If you download the app,
yeah,
you have to put in your mailing information, and then they lie and say that you are like a confirmed buyer or like a certified user or whatever it is. So they'll send stuff to your house and then use your identity, your IP address to say that like you bought stuff and then put up fake reviews about the stuff they sent you for free.
Listeners, hit us up at WatchBotsPod if you've ever gotten anything insane from Wish. #wishlist. So,
man, this is getting controversial.
You betcha. Dave, you could browse in the background. I'm gonna push this ahead a little bit here.
Please do.
but chime in as you find bizarre things. So we go back to the Skull Scope, and finally something's coming up on the Skull Scope, right? And then it's Mandora. So either Linkso is thinking of Mandora, you would think from what's there, but then she pops out of the screen somehow.
So
it was mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling, and the best interpretation I came up with, and I spent a lot of my day thinking about how this could be possible, was that he was thinking exit strategy.
Okay.
And the universe provided an exit strategy, which was just like conjuring her, similar to when the Sorting Hat gives Harry Potter the Sword of Gryffindor.
Okay. That could be. So they're getting ready to escape. Mandora fights Luna, who's on her troll. And the only way she can get to Luna is through the troll. And I'm not going to play this clip because it's genuinely upsetting, but she's like shooting the troll in the feet and the poor fucking thing is
so
whimpering.
sad.
Yeah.
She's such an asshole.
Mandora or Luna?
Luna. No.
Both. Both, really. But so they're getting ready to escape. And Mandora echoes my thoughts about the episode here and probably listeners' thoughts about this one as well.
Let's wrap this up and get on home.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's a trick. They actually,
We have a game.
We do have a game. They actually go into a penis rocket and they're sent off into the wilds of space. And you think that they're in the shit. For no reason whatsoever, Lion-O is sitting in the tower by himself now. And he realizes something is wrong. So he calls upon the Deus Ex Machina here.
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight.
So for listeners who are unfamiliar with the idea of the Thundercats, the Sword of Omens in the first season allows what Lion-O is trying to do here. Like see beyond seeing. So like mind reading and knowing where people are and like thinking across places. Over time, it would develop into things like shooting a Thundercats logo, as you saw here, transporting things across large distances, basically like doing whatever convenient thing they needed to do to get out of that week's convoluted plot. So the Sword of Omens, a superbly powerful tool.
It's like the Bond tools. Like every movie,
Yeah.
Q would bring up these 3 weapons or gadgets that
Yeah.
you have, and you're gonna need these because you're gonna get an exact moment where you will need a belt with a grappling hook.
I was going to say, it's Batman's utility belt in one single sword.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
So bear this in mind as Lion-O says this next line here.
Linkso and Mandora. They'll be smashed to pieces in that thing, Snarf. And I don't even have time to summon the other Thundercats.
They're in space and the Thundercats are not. And he uses the sword to summon this big ass force field anyway. So that the Thundercats aren't there seems largely inconsequential, I would say.
I also liked how when he was talking to Snarf, it made him sound like Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
Snarf.
We're going to do this, Snarf.
Yeah. It did have that feel to it.
That was my takeaway from that clip.
So I was just really mad because he was like, meh, fuck the team. I got this shit.
And he did.
He did, but also, like, why am I watching the Thundercats if I only get to see Lion-O?
Why am I watching the Thundercats is probably the key question. But
You win.
so he gets the force field. He brings them back. And we get our first usage of the word obstinate from a cartoon character, I believe, here.
Ever.
I don't have time to stand around and jaw, Snarf. I came for Chilla, and it's Chilla I'm going to get.
Gee, Mandora, you must be the most obstinate cop I ever met.
You betcha, Thundercat.
Between like obstinate and flatfoot, I'm not sure who this show is being written for. It's like really strange stuff.
Yeah. Again, fans of Dragnet.
Yeah. And who wasn't?
Not the show, the Dan Aykroyd, Tom Hanks movie.
Again, who wasn't? So Linkso and Mandora go back here. They see Chilla, and Chilla's like, Jesus Christ, it's a fucking parking ticket, lady.
Yeah.
So she shoots her ice breath. She has her icebreaker's gum. She shoots her breath at her. Mandora shoots some more red shit at her. Chilla again.
Chilla, it looks like Chilla's just throwing sperm. Like there's just like a huge puddle of her ice. It's just like it's so gross.
That's not at all the interpretation I had.
Huh, she must think I'm still wet.
That's disgusting, Shaylin.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's not the kind of brand of humor we do here.
Yeah.
It's a family show.
It's not the kind of humor that I do here.
Maybe tone it down a bit, Shaylin.
Ugh.
Cut it in half.
Y'all are yucky.
You know,
like that arm you saw.
Some people may relate to Chilla in her sperm ice spit. I relate it to her in her dialogue. That all sounds weird.
I can't go on.
Anyway, so they capture her. Now, Shaylin,
To our listeners as they're shutting this off.
You said Mandora's not funny. Wrong.
Before we get underway, I want you to drink this, Chilla.
What is it?
antifreeze.
Thundercats! That's Cruel and Unusual Punishment. She's a terrorist.
The joke?
What about her laugh?
Yeah. Like, you would think with that joke and the music cue and the Thundercats, that's the end of the episode, but it goes on for like 2.5 more minutes. Not much to talk about. Mandora brings Chilla back. They hang out. Everybody laughs. It's a good time. But before we leave Thundercats here, I watched the credits for the show. Did you guys see this?
Yes.
There was one that really popped out to me, and that was the credit of psychological consultant Robert Kuisis or Quisis, Kuisis for the researchers.
Bob.
Okay, he's Robert on Wikipedia. I looked him up. He played this role for both this and Silverhawks, and his role was making sure that every episode of these shows had a moral. What is the moral of this episode of Thundercats? I think
Obey
after
the law?
thinking about it, after thinking about it, that has to be it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I guess it's there. It's just not presented spectacularly well.
It's follow the rules and get your take up Mexican food in a timely manner.
But what a fun gig, right? Like, you just get to watch cartoons and be like, yep, they got that moral. How much did this man get paid? Again? He was the psychological consultant.
We should do a psychological consultant power hour from now on.
It's only this man. It's only shows he worked on. Between like this guy and the dude who created the Thundercats, whose name was Tobin Wolfe, this show just has like a lot of characters associated with it. So Tobin Wolfe created the characters at the age of 62, and he also invented a bunch of shit, and then he moved to Hawaii. Like, what a cool life, right?
It's a good life.
It's fucking crazy. I dig it. But that's Thundercats. So, would you show it to a little child? Shaylin.
Hell yeah.
What about a cat child?
Sure.
Okay. Dave?
No?
You sound like you're in turmoil.
Yes? I don't know. I couldn't tell. I mulled this over for a while, the 30 seconds before I got onto this TriCast here. Yeah, it's... I'm a big maybe here. I don't know. This episode, probably not. Other Thundercats episodes? Maybe.
So, like I said, I did watch this with my son, but only some of it, and because timing was tight. But I don't know. This seemed harmless, and it had a moral. So, like, what is there to complain about?
That's right. Obey the law.
Let's go with 1 to 5 of Roberto's famous chili con carne tamales. Shaylin.
6. 6 out of 5.
So you don't like giving perfect scores, but you will give more than perfect. Explain.
I told you. I have road rage. I hate traffic tickets. I love Mexican food.
You love cats.
And I love cats.
You know that scene in The Matrix where Morpheus is explaining the Matrix to Neo, and when Neo looks in the mirror, he doesn't see that he's like bald and full of like plugs and shit. He sees himself as he was.
Yeah.
I feel like your self-image of who you think you are, like as this like angry, like rage-filled person versus, hi, I like cats, like could not be further from the truth. I
does not jive. Does not jive.
I admire how you view yourself, but I just need you to know that like you're not even close. You're not even in like the cat park.
You in your head, you're like Rambo. You're just shooting people with bow and arrows. You're just like just like killing everybody around you. But you in reality is like, I love cats. Rainbows.
What's wrong with
cat
cats?
rainbows?
I got this tomato from you for my garden. You can have it in your salads.
Yeah.
That's fine. Dave, what would you rank it?
This one is it's a little lower for me. It's 2 out of 5.
2?
Although, yeah. So the music and the animation are fantastic. That's the 2. But everything else, just no points.
Wow.
Not even for humor?
There's no humor.
I didn't think this was supposed to be funny.
There was a rim shot in the music.
It was funny.
In Mandora's antifreeze joke, of course.
Yeah. Huh. Her jokes go over about as well as mine. But yeah, 2 out of 5.
Don't bring her.
I'm standing by it.
Don't bring her down to your level.
I will.
I will.
I'm going to go with a solid 3.5. Like, I think this episode maybe doesn't capture kind of the whole spirit of Thundercats, but is just like an oddly enjoyable, meandering trip through Third Earth. I kind of liked in the end that it was just based off a coincidence. You know, it's just like shit happens in this world and we're going to follow it around. And it just had this odd charm to it for me. Like it's not Transformers. It's not G.I. Joe. And maybe it never was, but for what it was, I actually got a kick out of it. So despite what my son thinks, what does he know?
He's small. He has more things to learn.
He likes Owlboy. Who the fuck knows?
Owlboy doesn't exist.
So let's play a game. And this one is on me. And I was inspired here by cats, right? So of the Thunder variety or the Lynx variety, but there's a couple.
The Andrew Lloyd Webber variety.
Not so much that.
The T.S. Eliot variety.
That would have been a good idea.
Mm.
But I went with a different breed of cats as well. And that is our old pals, Garfield and Heathcliff. So here's a little game. I have a song. I didn't write it. All right. Credit to whoever on YouTube put that together. We'll put the link in the show notes. But this is a game called Wondercats, as in, I wonder what the fuck is going on. So it's a simple game. You're each going to start off with 5 points in your bank. Okay. I'm going to give you, we'll switch off who goes. I'm going to give you a simple phrase, and you have to tell me if it is about Garfield, if it's about Heathcliff, or if it's about Thundercats. Make sense so far?
Yes.
So you get a point for that. You can get...
So do I have 6 now?
No.
You said I started with 5.
You get a point.
I'm just fucking with you.
I see what you're doing.
Well, when you're confused, it won't be my fault. So you can get 2 bonus points if you can correctly guess the context, right? So if I said like cat poop and you said Heathcliff and that was right, you could get 2 bonus points if you could tell me like what Heathcliff is doing with the cat poop.
Got it.
You with me?
Sculpture.
It's a simple game.
Flinging.
It's a simple game. So you start with 5 in your bank. You can build,
but you can lose.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh. Ooh.
We'll see. So who wants to go first?
Dave does.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right, Dave, you're up first. Kitty cat drug addiction.
Heathcliff.
That is incorrect.
Fuck.
So you're still at 5. But we will play the context game. And Dave, you got it wrong, but I'm still going to give you first shot at context.
Wake up.
So
Did I say it's for Thundercats?
You did not know.
Okay, yeah. So it's a Thundercats plot around kitty cat drug addiction.
Okay. Let's see. Chitara, is that her name?
That is a Thundercat, yes.
Yeah, she is. She's addicted to this brand new culinary delight that just hit Third Earth, and she can't stop eating tacos.
That is not even close.
Oh.
Now, here's a twist. Shaylin.
Yes.
You can come in for the steal, but you have to risk some of your points.
How many of them?
You can bet as many as you like.
I would like to bet 1 point, Ben.
So you can bet 1 point, but you're only getting 1 point back, right? You're not getting all the extra accoutrement here. But you can bet a point. Would you like to make that bet?
No. Pass. I'm keeping my 5 points.
The game is really more fun if you bet. Okay, so the context is this is early in season 1. Tigra gets addicted to a plant.
Damn it!
That is something like acid. Oh, bullshit.
I was going to say Tigra, but I didn't
and
have a plant.
He betrays Lion-O to Mumra to continue to get his fix.
Okay, so I would have gotten that wrong, which means I made the right choice.
Not for
I
fun.
was close with tacos.
Shaylin,
Tacos.
gravy helmet.
Garfield.
No,
Damn it.
it's Heathcliff. Would you like to guess the context?
Heathcliff
You only get 1 bonus point if you get the cartoon wrong initially.
is in the alley,
Mhm.
and he, out of congealed gravy, makes a helmet to protect himself from incoming food thieves.
A valiant effort, but incorrect. Dave, do you want to risk?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
What do you
wager.
want?
I can wager anything. I'll wager 1 point.
Okay.
It's a Thanksgiving episode, and Heathcliff gets into the turkey, and he's trying to the person's trying to make gravy out of it, but the Heathcliff gets too greedy. The pan flips over, hits him on the head, and the gravy congeals over his head to form a gravy.
So
helmet.
you guys are both overthinking it. You're both down to 4 points. The context is it is a comic strip where Heathcliff wears a helmet that says gravy on it.
Why did I lose a point, Ben?
Because you said that the helmet was made out of gravy.
Dave didn't lose a point on his.
Yeah.
You lost a point on your Thundercats thing.
I didn't actually
didn't
play
wager
that
anything.
game. I didn't wager.
Oh Christ! You fucking semantics people. Fine. Shaylin's winning 5-4.
Hell
5-4.
That's correct.
5-4.
This Ben, we might not have fun, but we need to keep this
I
clean.
know. The rules are very important. So
Yes.
thank you both. I'm frustrated with myself.
You should be.
Dave, wood burning cats.
Garfield.
That is correct.
And
For 2 bonus points.
It is the Christmas episode, and he's trying to light a fire at Grandma Arbuckle's house. Is that where they go?
That is where they go. And you have some elements, but not enough to warrant those bonus points, unfortunately.
Oh, come on.
Shaylin, would you like to risk some points for a steal?
I risk nothing, Ben. I maintain my 5 points.
Jesus Christ.
Tell us the context.
No, I don't want to because you're being so ungamesman-like.
I'm being smart with my points, Ben.
An old woman picks up Garfield and reminisces about wood-burning cats while Garfield looks horrified and John looks smug. So, kind of strange.
Okay.
I would not have gotten that right, and so once again, I've made the correct
Shaylin.
choice.
It's like a Garfield Wicker Man kind of thing.
Sort of,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Bird pizza.
Garfield.
No, Heathcliff.
Damn it.
Come on, that was clearly Heathcliff.
But you can get a point if you could tell me what Heathcliff is doing with bird pizza.
He's trying to feed his friends the pigeons with a pizza.
Incorrect.
He's passed over in favor of fish heads.
I am sorry, but no.
Dave?
Dave, would you like to risk any of your hard-earned 5 points? Somehow we're still even.
I will risk 3 points.
Okay. This is a big risk.
Yeah. So Heathcliff is it's not a bird pizza, it's a pizza for birds. He has befriended a group of pigeons that
You're so
are
far up
starving.
to what I said.
Yeah.
Until the starving part.
They're starving. They turns out they're good fellas. They're tough guys, and they're on one last hurrah. And they need full bellies for it.
Now, in Vegas, they have a term called smarts, right? And it's people who sort of understand the betting market.
Yeah.
And I would have to say that was not a bet for the smarts, because while I am amused, it is unfortunately not the correct context. Now, keep in mind, this is a Heathcliff. So
Also, keep in mind that up until the part where they were starving, you gave the same answer as me that was wrong.
why are you so angry tonight?
I'm not angry. I
So
just think it's
angry.
funny.
So Ben, do you want us to play the game right, or do you want us to be amusing, or do you want both? Because I feel like you're asking for a lot here.
The context is amusing. The context, of course, is that Heathcliff has a pizza and birds fly out of it, and the pizza man notes that the birds are flying south for the winter.
Oh,
So,
I was way off.
classic Heathcliff humor.
So there was no connection to a Kirk Douglas movie.
Not as such.
I disagree, but we'll take this off air.
All right. So let's do one more round here. So, Shaylin, you are at 5.
Yep.
Dave, you are at 2.
Correct.
Dave, this is a big opportunity. Excalibur.
Thundercats?
That is correct. So you've regained a point. For 2 bonus points, What was Excalibur doing in Thundercats?
They were in a like a holodeck type of machine, and they were imagining the King Arthur scenario.
That is close. So I'm going to give you 1 bonus point. Shaylin, do you want to risk anything to take this one home?
No, because I'm still in the lead.
Oh my God. So the gist of
Do
this...
you want to take a stab at it without risking any points?
What we do here, Shaylin.
I do not. I would like to win.
Pass.
For Christ's sake. So Mum-Ra finds out about the King Arthur tale, and he goes to see the lady in the lake and tricks her into thinking that he is King Arthur. And then Excalibur fights the Sword of Omens, like they fight in midair without either Mum-Ra or Lion-O holding the swords. The swords just fight each other. So it is truly wild.
It sounds delightful, but there are not enough tacos or chili con carne.
That's fair.
Chili con carne.
Shaylin.
Ben.
.com.
Spell it?
DOG space CUM.com.
Garfield.
That is correct.
Because Odie.
That is your guess for context?
My context is...
Because Odie. Jesus.
Would that be enough to win, Ben?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
Actually, it would guarantee you a loss in this.
Then let me give you some more context.
Thank God.
Odie gets lost somewhere. He leaves the house accidentally. Not going to Abu Dhabi, but he's tricked.
Sure. He's not normal.
But then, you're right, Garfield feels guilty about it and he wants the dog to come home.
That's very heartfelt. No, that is not correct.
I just want to point out Garfield Holiday Special. Not all of Garfield is heartfelt. Some of it is just assholes making people cry.
Coming soon. Dave, you have a big risk to make here.
I do.
You can get this steal. You are currently down by 2 points. You want to roll the dice.
Hashtag winning.
And see if you can pick it up.
I'll wager everything.
Okay.
So 4 points, right?
Yes.
And it was dog.com?
Dog.com.
Correct.
DOGCUM. Hashtag dog.com.
So Odie, John gets fired from his job. And Garfield and Odie are working together to, help, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, etc. Everything they try to do is just completely, it just fails. Like Garfield tries to become a pizza delivery guy. He keeps eating all the pizzas. Odie, becomes a dog walker, and the dogs are confused because he's a dog. So what they finally do is they open up a porn site called dogcum.com. And they make quite a bit of money showing Garfield masturbating Odie.
I love to win.
That is extraordinarily elaborate, but sadly, no.
4 points for creativity.
You're down to 0, but wait. Let me explain the context here. John and Garfield are at the vet's office. John is thirsty, so he takes a drink from a bottle of white liquid. The vet comes in and congratulates him because now he's going to give birth to a litter of puppies.
That's not real.
That is real. Now, the creator...
So that was a little closer.
Is that disavowed?
Yeah, hold on. I'm blanking on Garfield.
I'm throwing this out there. Not canon.
The creator of Garfield, Jim Davis, later came out and said that this was a protein drink for animals, but it's .com. So...
See?
Now, Dave... Shaylin thinks that she's won the game despite her conservative nature by a score of 6-0, sitting over there playing on her phone. Not really
I'm just
paying
hanging
attention.
here, man.
But you know what? She didn't factor in Final Jeopardy.
Oh.
I went to Rule 34, or one of the Rule 34 sites, and I looked up Thundercats. And there's a lot of stuff there. Now, you can bet any number of points you want, whether you have them in the bank or not. Whoever is closest to the amount of Rule 34 items tagged Thundercats without going over will get a certain amount of points predetermined by who I think deserves to win the game.
Congratulations, Dave, on your victory.
Shaylin, what is your guess and what are you bidding?
I'm obviously going to bet all the points.
Sure.
And my guess is 327.
327.
I'll write it down.
That's a bold guess. Okay. Dave, what is your bet and what is your guess?
On how many sexy Thundercat fanfics there are?
They might be Thundy. They might be sexy. They might be alarming. But somebody put some work into them, and so I think we should recognize that.
Oh, boy. 178.
178.
Yes.
What are you wagering? I wagered all.
I have 0.
Dave wagers 0.
I so desperately wanted Dave to get it close, and then we could win with a score of 0, which feels appropriate. But no, the answer is 1,272.
Oh man, for once, like I could have gone. I had it.
You could have picked
800, Dave.
a
800.
cartoonish number.
Yeah,
because cats are sexy inherently.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Just saying.
Why are you so salty? Why are you offended?
This isn't salty or offended. I'm stating a fact about cats.
So Shaylin wins.
I win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to figure this out in editing. I don't think I like the idea that like just by not playing the game, you somehow won.
I played the game. I simply didn't want to wager.
I brought in this fun betting element,
which was alarming to me.
You just keep talking about sexy cats. This has all gone very akimbo. I don't know. I don't like it. You know what I do like though?
What?
A nice spicy piece of mail.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
like the one we have this week.
Give it.
Hi, Watchbot says, what was the worst part of growing up? Was it the school dances? It was the school dances, wasn't it? Sound off. Babraham Stinkin. Punch up. Stinkum. So I think you could read it as either the worst part of growing up or school dance memories.
What would you prefer tonight, Ben? Since you're so offended by my gameplay, I want to make sure that I don't mess up the mailbag.
Do you have something that has some chuckles in it?
Sure.
Let's go with that one.
So our school dances were held in the middle school / high school cafeteria.
Okay.
Which was shaped in it was a right angle.
It was like a reverse L.
It was shaped like the Thundercats logo.
Yes, exactly. And I remember, so my sister was very opposed to school dances. And so I was incessantly mocked every time I went to one.
Sure.
And every time I was just voraciously hungry and there were no snacks.
So no chuckles in these stories.
Where
are the yuck, Shaylin?
So every time I went to a school dance, I always thought it was very fun. I enjoyed it with my friends. Like we hung out or whatever. There was girls crying in the bathroom, which was really weird to me. And
why?
Why?
I'm getting there. Trust. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It was middle school. It was high school. It was weird. My dad always brought me pizza when he picked me up from school dances.
What?
I don't know why.
I like the idea that he came in like the big foil bag. I have a pizza for you.
Well, so he always picked me up earlier than everyone else's mom or dad because the dance went till like 9:00 and he was always there at 8:45 and like he would get out of the car and come to the door and kind of look around like why are you not coming to the door? And I would leave and I'd get in the car and there would be like a whole pizza for me. It was the best.
Your very own cheese pizza.
Cheese pizza.
Mushroom.
Mushroom pizza. Oh.
Mushroom.
Shaylin McAllister.
Anyway, my dad.
Sorry, no full names.
My dad was weird, and I ate pizza after school dances, and it was a delight.
All right,
Dave. All right. School dances were the worst for me.
Yep.
Did not like them.
I'm sorry, dude. Both.
Did not like them. I remember there was one dance. It was like it was a girl's birthday party. I think she was turning 13. We were still in junior high. So she invited a whole bunch of people. It was at like a church rec hall and, they were playing all the hits, you know, the Casey and JoJo song. Shaylin, you know it.
I do know it.
Yeah. How's it go?
I'm not going to sing, Dave.
Damn it.
She's not going to sing.
Mariah
She's not going to play
Carey.
games. All right.
Pray for someone like you.
Sweet redemption.
No, it wasn't Aaron Neville, Dave. And just jumping in briefly to tell you, a school dance happens at the school. It's not a girl's birthday party.
Well, it was schoolmates. It was like my class.
Fine.
So, Mariah Carey and Boys to Men.
Yes, know them both personally, of course.
Yes, that song they collaborated on was played at every semi-formal.
Sorry, I never told you.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't even have to goad you for that one. But I remember, so this dance, those two songs were playing, and I remember there was like this little stage area that all like the kind of dweeby guys, or just me, I guess, were hanging out at. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to ask this girl to dance. And so Casey and JoJo were playing All My Life. And I worked up the courage and I walked over to this girl and I said, do you want to dance? And she looks at me and she goes, the song's about to end. And I just turned around and walked right back to where I was standing. But that's not the end of it. The Mariah Carey Boys to Men song came on, and this was like a couple songs later after like that pace of like a slow song, 3 fast songs, a slow song. This song comes on, and I stand up, I go to the same girl. I had to work up the courage, and I said, do you want to dance? And she goes, the song's almost over, and I just left the dance. I just went to the parking lot and waited for my mom to pick me up. It was awful.
Did you see her after that?
Oh yeah, I had to go to school with her.
So like the following Monday, it was like super weird.
Oh yeah, I was just red from embarrassment like the rest of the school year. And it wasn't like, it was May and I had a couple weeks left. It was like fucking February or something. Just all year long. So anytime I hear those 8th grade slow dance songs, I get this weird like feeling in my, like a tightening in my chest, in a flush against my cheeks.
Listeners, if you're out there and you have an embarrassing story about a school dance, #fucking February.
See, I take umbrage, Dave, with some of your story here because I can echo a lot of your feelings, but I think the idea that you were invited to a 14-year-old girl's birthday party at that age, I'm thinking back, I'm like, that didn't happen to me. So I was about 3 levels below that, apparently.
I will say that it was like almost the whole class was invited to this. I wasn't like some special, invite or whatever.
That invitation fucking showing up, SWAK, sealed with a kiss.
That's not the order of the letters.
You had to fill out the RSVP with ASF.
Good Lord.
ASL.
School dances did suck, though. I will echo that sentiment. I struck out many a time with many a lady, which is pretty shitty when you think about it.
Oh, it's harsh.
Young heartache or young self-pity. Not a good thing to be going through. But, there was a dude in my class who he prided himself on knowing the Will Smith Men in Black dance. So he always made it a point every school dance to go up to the DJ and request Men in Black. Now, mind you, this was years after that song was relevant, right? And he would.
That was 97.
That was 97. So we're talking like 99, maybe, which is like years later. Which in high school, it's a fucking eternity. It's a fucking eternity, guy.
What the hell, guy?
What the fuck?
Come on, kid.
And so he would make it a point to request it, and he would go up and he would like solo, and he'd be doing the bounce with me, just bounce with me, and people would go ape shit. And this kid,
MIB.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like just people it was just like had the flattest reaction.
No, it was like fucking. It was like a high school rom-com movie. Like everybody's dancing together and stuff.
Usher's there, just flipping his hat. Yeah,
that was later, Dave.
And that was when I thought,
sorry,
She's All That came after.
I need a move. But my move was, I don't know, wearing like Echo sweatshirts, which was pretty cool back then. I assure you.
By
Echo
whose
the Dolphin?
standard?
Yeah, it was Echo the Dolphin. Yes.
Suddenly, great winds of water.
Strangely, that didn't work on girls then either.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. But there was this one.
I had a move to in high school, but it was the Rikishi and the hottie Scotty 2 hottie dance that me and my friend would do. By this point, I was just like, you know what, I'm done trying to ask girls to dance, and I just kind of would do that with him. That was great. Couldn't do the worm though.
There was this one dance. Actually, this happened several times. This is a weird story. Why am I telling this?
Please do. Go on.
Like a
Does this involve sexy cats?
Oh God, I wish. In high school, I would have killed. Like in high school, like I was a large, oafish, awkward teenager. A lot has changed, but we would have these school dances, and like I would mostly stay to the side, as is my wont in life. But occasionally, like I would just wander out to the middle of the floor with no aim or anything, just like shuffling around, being like weird. There was this one girl. This is when like grinding was becoming a thing. So like it was a little bit after bump and grind, if you remember.
I remember.
Don't say nothing wrong. But like grinding was a thing. And like we'd get in these dance circles and this one girl would just grind on me and it didn't go anywhere, obviously. And I think it was for a hoot. But
the only way that goes is up, if you catch my drift.
I don't feel great about where this is headed, but I'm okay.
Not in public and not in that situation. But you know that book, The Awakening? It was about that moment for me.
No, you're talking about Awakenings with Robin Williams.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That movie, What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams. Yeah. And then I realized I was dead.
Wet Dreams May Come?
Yeah.
After being married this many years and only just finding out about this, I need to hunt the girl down that you knew before me and kill her. I think.
Yeah, well, I'll have to hunt down all the sexy cats then under that fucking bizarre scenario. Anyway.
This was a great question, Mailbag author.
Yeah, hashtag fucking February.
Fucking February.
Email at watchbotspod.com. So let's do like, what the hell was her name? God, I have fucking lost my marbles today.
Mandora.
Thank you. Let's do like Mandora does and bring this shit to a close. Any last Thundercats bits of trivia or fun facts or anything that we've missed here?
I would like to watch another Thundercats in the future.
Sure.
Maybe something that has the Thundercats in it, not one that's like Lion-O and some side dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Dave?
Side dudes?
It's like side boobs, but spelled different.
Oh, man. It's just nice to know that I'm the most woke one now on this podcast.
Well, wait a minute.
You're wrong.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
How did you inherit it?
He claimed it.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Wrongfully.
You can't just do that.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, no, isn't that how woke works?
No.
If anybody, it's me.
I sent the pictures to both of you, and I just want to point out that I'm right, that both of those people look just like the two people I said they looked like. And if I had not had a couple of very heavy beers before we went to the show and I took the pictures, I wouldn't have taken the pictures.
Yes, you would have, because you're a real sicko.
That's not true.
You're so sick and twisted. You're like the Joker.
You guys, I'm an asshole internally. I'm not one outwardly. You know this.
We'll see.
A rainbow asshole.
Gotta build them woke points up.
Jerks.
That's what matters.
Divorce. Unfriend.
But Thundercats, it's a relic of its time. And maybe it's best that way, you know? So when the inevitable Thundercats revival comes on Netflix in the next 2 years, stay away. You know, remember the good times. Remember Snarf and Chilla and Mum Ra and the rest, you know? Let the past die. Kill it.
If you must.
Like a cat that you ran over by accident. No, that got
oh, Jesus.
that got dark.
A sexy cat that you were jealous of.
Yeah.
A sexy cat that's alive and has not been run over by a car.
Sexy cat. It's good that Chillin gave that defining personality trait. It's going to work out well just fine.
For the rest of this podcast.
You can follow us on Twitter,
forever,
Instagram, and Jiffy at WatchBotsPod. Please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, your platform of choice. For Dave and Chillin, this is Ben. Thanks for listening to another episode of WatchBots. Until next week, enjoy your Mexican food as long as it's within the bounds of the law. And if you intercept a cat that's got curves out the wazoo and some lithe, sleek fur, just keep that legal too. Right?
Yeah.
#sexy cats. Bye.